Hello everyone and welcome back to the Red Eagle. Today we're at 27.8k subs. Can we get to 28k by the end of the month? Please subscribe and like this video down below before we get started. But without further ado, today's video is going to talk about Democrat presidential hopeful Michael Bloomberg. Lots of people are seeing commercials praising the billionaire, but they don't exactly tell the full story. So today I'm going to tell you 10 things you probably didn't know about Michael Bloomberg. The first thing you probably did not know is that Michael Bloomberg is 78. He's actually older than both Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, and 4 years older than Trump. He would be nearly 83 at the end of his first term if elected, and if he ran for a second term, he would be almost 87 at the end of his presidency. Bloomberg even said in 2019 that he would not run for president because he was too old. Now, Bernie Sanders arguably lost his nomination in 2016 due to age concerns alone, and it's no secret that most people in their 80s are not exactly in the prime mental or physical state. So when it comes to the ability to run the free world, I would much rather prefer somebody with a quicker wit that is in much sharper mental shape. The second thing you probably did not know about Michael Bloomberg is that he dodged the draft during the Vietnam War, citing feet problems. This is something that Democrats ruled Trump for back in 2016, so if Bloomberg's their nominee, they're going to lose the entire grounds for the draft dodger argument. Although technically Biden and Sanders did this too, so either way, the draft dodger thing is probably going out the window. The third thing you probably did not know about Michael Bloomberg is that he is a big spender in his elections. He spent presidential level dollars in his mayoral elections, spending over $100 million each time. He actually spent over $100 per person in the city, proving that he could have possibly just sent pizza to each resident in to attempt for votes, and it probably actually would have been more effective. So to put this in perspective, Trump only spent double what Bloomberg spent on his mayoral elections in the presidential elections. This proves Bloomberg's got deep pockets, and he's slated to spend $1 billion in his attempt to defeat Trump. He's actually already spent over $300 million, which is more than what Donald Trump spent in 2016 on his campaign, and he's only in third place. So the problem is, will it work? It's probably not going to work because there's going to be a tipping point where people will get sick of Bloomberg's mass advertisements, and too much money spent over a certain point could potentially be ineffective, but we will see. The fourth thing you probably did not know about Michael Bloomberg is that he has an interesting past with women. He has been known to be quite the womanizer in the past, saying he would keep a girlfriend in every single major city. He's also been known for famous quotes such as, "Look at that ass on her, I'd do her," and women would be much more successful if they spent time at the library and less time shopping at Bloomingdale's. He's also been on the record calling women ugly, and allegedly referenced a woman he impregnated to kill it because the woman's place is in the office, not at home having kids, end quote. Many women high up at his organization have accused it of sexual harassment, and 58 lawsuits have been filed, and there's many non-disclosure agreements that he will not release. He called a transgender person it, and some guy wearing a dress, pretty based if you ask me, and Democrats like to point to Trump's so-called bad past with women. But they're going to struggle with this argument, as they would call Trump a sexist for doing nearly half the stuff Bloomberg did, so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. The fifth thing you probably did not know about Michael Bloomberg is that he supported the Iraq War, a position he still currently has defended. He was also a staunch supporter of Bush when he was unpopular, and Trump, ironically, did not support Bush. Trump opposed the war before most Democrats did, and he easily can hammer Bloomberg on the issue the way he hammered it in 2016 to demonstrate the lack of judgment. As you saw in the last debate, Bernie Sanders briefly hit Michael Bloomberg on this issue the same way he hit Hillary Clinton on this issue, and it kind of hurt her in the long run in terms of judgment. So it's very well could come back to haunt Bloomberg. So the sixth thing you probably did not know about Michael Bloomberg is that he, as a big city businessman, loves free trade with China. He supports all the free trade deals that Trump ran against in 2016, which Trump later then ditched or renegotiated. He believes that China is not a dictatorship and has actually praised them constantly. He's also said some very patronizing things to farmers and manufacturing workers, saying their jobs require little intellect. So yeah, these forms of elitism are not going to play out well in the Rust Belt states Trump won, like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Iowa, etc., where you need to get the vote of the white working class as well as high turnout and support from black voters, which brings us to number 7. The seventh thing you probably did not know about Michael Bloomberg, although we are hearing about this more over the past couple of weeks, is that he had a troubled relationship with the black community. The main reason was his policy as mayor of stop and frisk. The policy under Mayor Rudy Giuliani was very efficient and actually helped communities be safer and brought down crime. The policies under Bloomberg, however, did not really reduce crime and were eventually ruled unconstitutional. Stops increased exponentially and targeted blacks almost exclusively, and was criticized by many for not being applied fairly. Bloomberg now says he regrets it, despite defending the policy last year. He's also trying to take credit for the reduction of stops towards the end of his term, but mainly because it was rolled back after being deemed unconstitutional. It is true that Trump did advocate for Giuliani-style stop and frisk during 2016, something he has now gone back on after meeting with Kanye West, but Bloomberg's actions speak louder than Trump's words, which will be a key debate come November. Trump's already hit Bloomberg on the issue on Twitter. But Bloomberg's shaky relationship with the black community does not just stop at stop and frisk. Of course, we have his famous 1350-style quote claiming 95% of murderers in NYC are minorities, something that when fact-checked is surprisingly almost true. However, his solutions to fix the problems really did not work. He defended the fact that cops arrest almost 8 times as many blacks than whites in the city due to weed, due to ineffective over-policing. He has also defended bank discrimination and redlining, and referred to black senators such as Cory Booker as well-spoken and articulate. Also, he has been accused of telling a female employee who could not find childcare, "It's a effing baby. All you need is some black who doesn't have to speak English to rescue it from a burning building." Worst of all, he said back in 2011 that black and Latino men do not know how to behave in the workplace due to a lack of a proper skill set. So if you ask me, that is probably the definition of textbook racism. So all this and more prove it's not going to be easy for Mini Mike to galvanize black support and black turnout. Democrats without proper evidence derided Trump as anti-black and anti-Hispanic, but Donald Trump has taken immense policy initiative to improve the lives of black and Hispanic Americans, unlike Bloomberg, who had a policy of failure, especially after becoming a Democrat. Even Van Jones, who called Trump's victory a white lash, has been admitting this. And the latest head-to-head poll shows Trump at 15% of the black vote compared to Bloomberg's 78%, a near double of Trump's black support in 2016, and a near 11% loss of Hillary Clinton's support for the Democrat side. So Democrats should fear even lower black turnout or a possible mini realignment if Bloomberg is the nominee. The 8th thing you probably did not know about Michael Bloomberg is that he loves government. Well, Democrats usually love government, but nobody is as high up in the red quadrant as Michael R. Bloomberg. Bloomberg banned trans fats and smoking as mayor, and he regulated sodas. He even wanted to ban baby formula. He actually unironically said he wants the government to read all of our emails, and of course he passed strict gun control laws to make it harder for citizen defense in New York City than arguably anywhere else in the country. He also supported taxing the poor higher for the rich, claiming it was for their own good. Now, people like freedom, and while Trump hasn't been perfect on all fronts for civil liberties, such as the smoking age and bump stock bans, he's been a lot better as president than Bloomberg's tyrannical run as New York City mayor. The 9th thing you may not know about Bloomberg is his height. While Trump's been calling him Mini Mike, he's referring to the fact that he is 5'7". Not only is he extremely short, he's 8 inches shorter than Trump, and is apparently very self-conscious about it. He once lied and told the DMV he was 5'10" in a cheap attempt to feed his ego. So Trump knows how to take on his opponents, and he was friends with Mike for many years. He knows this gets him good, and he's going to take him out easily in the debates as a result because he knows what's going to hurt him. He's going to be able to bring him down with this kind of stuff. So the last thing you may not have known about Bloomberg is his net worth. We all know he is rich, but how rich exactly is he? The guy is worth $62 billion. He's one of the richest men in the world. Trump, by comparison, has just $3.1 billion, or 1/20th of Bloomberg's wealth. In comparison, Bernie Bros didn't like Hillary in part due to money. So imagine the low turnout among them if Bloomberg is the nominee. So there you have it. If you have any other interesting facts about Bloomberg, comment down below. And like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, join the Discord, join the subreddit, and donate to the Patreon, links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.